Most men grow up believing a lie, that money is the ultimate key to a woman's heart. That if you earn enough, buy enough, impress enough, she'll stay. That the car you drive, the watch you wear, or the number in your bank account is what separates you from the forgotten. But here's the truth, the kind that hits differently when you're past 30 and you've seen how life actually works. Money can buy attention, but it can't buy depth. It can open doors, but it can't build trust. And it may attract her eyes, but it will never hold her heart. You see, there's something deeper going on, something that most men miss. Women, especially the ones worth having, are not drawn to wealth itself, but to what that wealth represents: strength, stability, direction. And yet, even without riches, there are men who walk into a room and shift the energy, not because they flash status, but because they carry substance. The truth is, women secretly desire something far more rare than wealth. They long for a man who has command over himself, a man who lives with intention, a man whose words and actions align even when no one's watching. These things? They can't be bought. They're earned, built through practice, sharpened through failure, and revealed not in grand gestures, but in how you carry yourself when the spotlight is off. This video isn't about criticizing money. It's about exposing what truly matters. Because when you embody these three traits, when you become this kind of man, you don't have to chase. You attract, effortlessly, authentically, and with lasting impact. So before you pour more energy into trying to impress, pause. What you're about to learn will change not only how women see you, but how you see yourself. And that changes everything. The core of real attraction: 3 things women truly want more than money. Number 1, emotional control. The quiet storm she trusts. There's a kind of magnetism that doesn't come from words, wealth, or status. It comes from presence, from the way a man carries himself when everything around him is breaking down. Emotional control isn't just about not losing your temper. It's about owning the moment when everyone else loses theirs. Think of it. You're on a date and something goes wrong. The food is cold, the waiter is rude, maybe traffic made you late. Most men would get irritated, complain, maybe even snap. And the moment they do, they send a message: I'm not in control. My emotions are. Now, contrast that with the Stoic man. Calm, grounded. Instead of reacting, he observes, he breathes, he laughs, not to hide the problem, but to transcend it, to show that discomfort doesn't dictate his behavior, that he is a man of temperance, a virtue Marcus Aurelius once described as the armor of a rational soul. Why does this matter to women? Because emotional control signals safety. Not just physical, but emotional. When a woman is with a man who's not constantly at war with himself, she relaxes. She lets her guard down. She feels safe to be herself, vulnerable and honest. This isn't about being stoic in the sense of cold or unfeeling. That's a caricature. True Stoicism is not the absence of emotion, it is the governance of emotion. A Stoic man feels deeply, but chooses to respond with wisdom, not reflex. Here's a practical test. The next time you're upset, try saying nothing. Try breathing before speaking. Try observing the chaos without becoming part of it. It will feel unnatural at first, but with time, you'll build that inner stillness. And that stillness, it's magnetic. A man who owns his emotions owns the room, and more importantly, he earns something no amount of money can buy: her trust. Number 2, purpose. The gravitational pull of a man who knows where he's going. Money can impress. A nice car might catch her eye. But if a man has no direction, if his days are driven by distraction rather than discipline, it won't be long before she sees through the glitter. Purpose is not some lofty idea. It's a force. It's what gives your decisions weight and your presence depth. A man with purpose moves differently. He doesn't chase, he builds. He doesn't try to impress, he becomes impressive. Purpose isn't about chasing women, it's about chasing excellence. Most men today are emotionally and spiritually unemployed. They wake up and scroll, react to life, wait for permission to live fully. They wonder why they're invisible to women, and the answer is this. Women don't follow men who are standing still. But give a man a purpose, a mission that transcends ego, and he becomes someone women want to stand beside, not just date. Think of Epictetus, born a slave, no money, no freedom, but he pursued philosophy like his life depended on it, and in doing so, he rose above kings, not in title, but in legacy. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be real. Maybe it's building a business, maybe it's being a father with intention, maybe it's writing, building, teaching, creating. The point is, you wake up with fire, not fear. And when she looks into your eyes, she doesn't just see a man, she sees a mission. One of the most attractive traits a man can possess is clarity. Know who you are, know what you're chasing, and don't apologize for it. A man who knows his path walks straighter, talks less, and women feel it in their bones. Here's a challenge. Write down what you would pursue if no one clapped. No applause, no likes, no external validation, just you, your soul, and a sense of duty. That's your purpose. Follow it, not for her, for you. But know this. Number 3, integrity, the most seductive form of strength. In a world full of men who say anything to get what they want, integrity is rebellion. It's rare, it's powerful, and women can feel it, even when they can't explain it. A man of integrity doesn't just talk, he follows through. He doesn't bend his values when it's convenient. He doesn't ghost, lie, manipulate, or play games. Why? Because his self-respect is worth more than a moment of pleasure or a cheap win. Think of this. If you tell a woman you'll call and don't, she may not say a word, but she files it away. If you say you're about honesty, but hide who you are, she feels the gap between your words and your reality. Over time, that gap becomes a canyon, and when trust falls, nothing can hold the relationship together. But when a man keeps his word, even when it costs him something, he becomes irreplaceable. Not because he's perfect, but because he's real. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." That's integrity. Doing the right thing when it's hard, when no one's watching, when no one will give you credit. Women want to admire the man they love. They want to know he stands for something, that he doesn't just drift in the wind of temptation, but plants his feet in the soil of principle. Integrity builds a foundation deeper than lust, stronger than charm. It's what lets her exhale when you say, "Trust me," because she's seen time and time again that she can. She grew up in his eyes. Her attempts to shield their happiness often seem too daunting for her. So how do you practice integrity? Start small. If you say you'll be there at 6, show up at 5:55. If you say you're not interested in games, then stop playing them. If you make a mistake, own it, repair it, grow from it. That's not weakness, that's power. And remember, integrity is not about being right, it's about doing right. The truth is simple, but it takes most men decades to see it clearly. Women may notice your money, your appearance, your lifestyle, but those things don't hold them. What truly captivates a woman on a soul-deep level are the things that can't be bought, only built. Your emotional stability, your unwavering sense of purpose, and your integrity. Emotional control shows her that she's safe in your presence, even when the world is chaotic. Purpose shows her that your life is not aimless, that you have direction, vision, and fire. And integrity, that's the quiet strength that tells her you are who you say you are, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. When you carry these traits, you're not just a man with potential. You're a man who becomes the standard, not just someone to desire, but someone to trust, someone to build with, someone to follow. In a world obsessed with status, Stoicism teaches us to return to the internal, to build the kind of masculinity that doesn't beg for attention, but naturally commands respect. You don't need to be rich to attract the right woman. You need to be real. And real, in today's world, is rare. So here's the question. Are you going to keep chasing superficial attraction, or are you ready to build something unshakable from within? If this message resonated with you, if it reminded you of who you're trying to become, then don't leave that energy behind. Subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism. This isn't just another channel, it's a reminder, a guide, and a challenge. A call to rise above noise and become the kind of man who doesn't just attract attention, but earns respect. Because in the end, it's not what you have that defines you, it's what you live. And if you live by these principles, the right woman and the right life won't just find you, they'll stay.